Your Provident Fund. It's supposed to be for retirement, right? But what happens when you need that money, like right now? Well, today, we're breaking down a strategic guide for tapping into your PF so you can handle what you need to today without messing up your future security. Let's dive in.
Have you ever been in this spot? Life throws you a curveball, and suddenly you're looking at your retirement savings thinking maybe just a little bit for right now. But how do you actually do that without completely derailing your long-term plans? That is exactly what we're going to figure out.
So, think of your career like a long highway, and retirement is the final destination. Your Provident Fund, that's the fuel you're collecting along the way. So before we talk about taking an exit, let's start with the basics. What is this fund really, and why is it so important?
The whole idea is actually pretty simple. Every single month, a part of your salary, plus a matching part from your employer, gets put away into this special savings account. It's a super disciplined, almost automatic way to build up a nice nest egg for when you finally stop working.
And let's be super clear here. This is not just another bank account. Your P&F is your financial safety net. It's the money that's designed to have your back when the paychecks stop coming in. That's why we have to treat it with the respect it deserves. Okay, but what if you need to take an early exit ramp off that retirement highway? Life happens, we get it. And the system knows that. When it comes to pulling money out early, there are basically two main paths you can go down. Let's check them out.
And you really gotta understand the difference here. A full withdrawal, that's like emptying the entire fuel tank. It's usually only for huge events like, actually retiring, or if you've been out of a job for more than 2 months. A partial withdrawal is more like a quick pit stop. You take just what you need for a specific, approved reason, and then you keep right on going.
Now here's the thing, if you take that early exit, you might have to pay a pretty hefty toll. And whether you pay it or not, well, it all comes down to one single, super critical number. Getting this right can literally save you a ton of money in taxes.
5. That's it. That is the magic number. It stands for 5 years of continuous service. Now, it doesn't matter if you were at one company for 5 years or 5 companies for 1 year each. As long as you kept transferring your PF, that 5-year clock keeps ticking. And that, my friends, determines everything when it comes to taxes.
So here's the bottom line, plain and simple. If you withdraw your PF money after you've completed 5 continuous years of service, the whole amount is completely tax-free. You heard that right, tax-free. But if you withdraw it even 1 day before that 5-year mark, the whole thing becomes taxable income. Ouch.
So if you do get taxed, how does that work? Well, it's kind of broken into 3 pieces. First, your employer's contribution and all the interest it earned. That gets added to your income and is taxed just like your salary. The interest on your own contributions gets taxed too, but under a different category, called income from other sources. And what about the money you put in? That part's only taxed if you claimed a tax deduction for it before. Oh, and there's one more little catch to know about. If you're pulling out more than 50,000 rupees before that 5-year mark, they're going to deduct 10% right off the top. That's called TDS, or tax deducted at source. So just be ready for that when you're doing your math.
Okay, so we know all about the tax rules now, but you can't just take out your PF for a vacation or a new TV. The government is really specific about what counts as a good enough reason to take that early exit. So what are they?
The approved reasons are all about the big, major life events. For a full withdrawal, you're looking at end-of-career stuff, like actually hitting retirement age, or as we said, being unemployed for a while. Partial withdrawals are for those critical, can't-avoid-it needs. Things like serious medical treatments, paying for a wedding or college, or anything to do with buying, building, or fixing up a house.
But wait, there are a couple of important exceptions to that 5-year tax rule. For instance, if you're taking money out for certain serious medical emergencies, that withdrawal is not taxed, even if it's before the 5-year mark. Same goes if you're just moving your PF balance over to the National Pension System, or NPS. That's a transfer, not a withdrawal, so no tax there.
So with all these rules and tolls and different exit ramps, how do you make the smartest possible turn for your money? Well, in this last section, we're going to lay out a simple, practical action plan to help you navigate this whole PF journey like a pro.
All right, here's your 4-step game plan. Step 1, and this is the big one, always transfer your PF when you switch jobs. Don't even think about it, just do it. 2, make sure your UAN and Aadhaar are linked up. It'll save you so many headaches later. 3, and this is obvious but crucial, treat your PF like it's locked in a vault. Avoid withdrawing early unless it's a real, true emergency. And finally, if you absolutely have to withdraw, plan it out. Be strategic to keep your tax bill as low as possible.
Let me say that again, because this is the single most important tip of this entire explainer. Transferring your PF from your old job to your new one is what keeps that 5-year service clock running. If you work for 3 years, then 2 years somewhere else, a transfer makes that a total of 5 years. If you withdraw that money instead, the clock resets all the way back to 0. You don't want that.
And really, that brings us to the final, simple question you've got to ask yourself before you even think about touching your Provident Fund. Yes, this system has options for today's emergencies, but the whole point of this money, its entire purpose, is to secure your tomorrow. So you have to decide, is today's need really worth tomorrow's security? You got to weigh that choice very, very carefully.